In this episode, we are going to learn a new concept called the maneuvering of pieces. Now, what does it mean by maneuvering of pieces? Identify the bad piece, move it to another worst square, and finally, we bring the piece to the square where it belongs. So, care should be taken that when you move from one bad square to another bad square, you should not allow your opponent to open up the position, because if he can open up the position when you move your piece from one bad square to another, then you will have problems. Now we have here two grandmasters, Karthikeyan Murali and Arvind Chidambaram, and they have understood the concept well, and I am going to check them with some simple positions and try to see how quickly they are able to identify which piece to maneuver and to which square. Okay, so the knight on c6 is a bad piece because of the c3 pawn. It is dominating knight d4 and knight b4 squares. Not only that, the e5 pawn also taking away an important square away from the knight. So we have two problems. One, the knight on c6. The other more serious problem is the rook on h8. Do you have a solution for it?
Yeah, here black can play knight d8.
Very good. So black plays knight d8 here, and after queen e3.
Either knight f7 or king g7.
Okay, so first he played knight f7. So this is what I meant by maneuvering. So we identify the knight on c6 is a bad piece and it cannot go to a good square in one move. So what we do, we lose time by playing knight d8. So basically from one bad square, the knight is going to another bad square, and finally it reaches a good square. Black has solved all his problems. Now the rook on h8 can come to d8, the open file, and if required, the knight can go to d6. And with rook on d8, I would suggest not to put the knight on d6 because it will come in the way of the rook. So probably after the exchange of the rooks, we can play knight d6. Arvind, think about the position and tell me what white should do.
I think the worst piece for white here is bishop on d3 because it is attacking a pawn which is defended by a pawn.
Very good.
So I think white has to play bishop c2.
What's the idea?
Bishop b3.
Okay, so here Arvind brought out a very important point. First, he immediately understood that the bishop on d3 is the worst piece. And he gave a very good reason. One of the reason is the pawn on a6 and b5. There is a pawn chain there. So bishop d3 is attacking the b5 pawn, which is defended by the pawn on a6. So there is one principle we have to learn from this. Whenever a piece is attacking a pawn and that pawn is defended by another pawn, then that attacking piece becomes a passive piece. Now sometimes what happens is when I gave this position to many of my students, they never reply ed5, most of them. They simply trust their opponent. So if he plays bd5 and there should be some reason why ed5 is bad, so they assume like this and they don't consider ed5 very critically. Okay, so you should never blindly trust your opponents. Rather, I would suggest you have to trust yourself more than your opponents. Okay, now in the middle game, having a pass pawn in the middle in the central file is a good thing to have. Okay, and why did Aronian do this? It is also understandable because the knight f6 now has some target to attack. The e file is open. So black thought that gives good compensation, but let's see, is it really so? So black took queen e2 and white played bishop b3. Okay, so the bishop on d3 has come to a better square, bishop b3, but because of the d5 pawn, the bishop is still slightly passive. Now whenever we face a situation where our opponent has advantage in one section of the board, we have to try to see where we have our strength. Okay, on the king side, if you see, there are 3 pawns versus 3 pawns, so there's not much advantage for black over there. But on the queen side, we have a 2-1 majority, pawn majority for black. So he played a5, trying to create a pass pawn or at least put the bishop in a critical situation after a4. So how should white play here?
d6.
d6. Now when I give this position to lesser rated players, most of them they come up with one of the two moves, that is a3 or a4. This is again trusting the opponent. Okay, so when he plays a5 threatening a4, we automatically think I have to find a defensive move for that threat.